ventricle, if that's what you're asking. We believe it's the spiritual, mystical, real body and blood of Christ. And it literally and really does effects a change in the believer. And I think it's funny that you mentioned that it's kind of disgusting, because if you look at, that's why I was so blown away by the Roman Catholic. If you look in John 6, when he starts saying, I am the living bread which came down from heaven. If any man eat of this bread, he shall live forever. John 52, the Jews therefore strove among themselves, saying, how can this man give us his flesh to eat? So Jesus doubles down and says, verily, verily, I say unto you, unless you eat the flesh of the Son of Man and drink his blood, ye have no life within you. For whosoever eateth my flesh and drinketh my blood hath eternal life, and I will raise him up at the last day. Now, the Greek in John 53 is really interesting, because he doesn't say just if you eat the flesh. He says if you munch on. He uses the term for animal eating, if you chew my flesh. So he really wants, so when they say, ooh, that sounds disgusting, he's like, I'm going to make it more disgusting. Because now you're going to understand that it is really what I'm talking about, because as the living Father has sent me, and I by the Father, so he that eateth me, he shall live by me. This is the bread that came down from heaven, not as your fathers did eat manna and are dead. He that eateth of this bread shall live forever. And what happens right after he says that? Many therefore of his disciples, when they heard this, said, this is an hard saying. Who can hear it? And Jesus doubles down again. And so what do? They leave. The point is, the people who didn't leave and the people who accepted that, that's where we come from.
So, number one, what is the Greek word that means to munch?
Hold on, let me go get it out of the Greek. I don't speak Greek. I'm one of those people that you mentioned in your Facebook. So, give me 1 second.
I mean, I do have to be honest. I'm often amazed. I don't speak Greek either, but I'm often amazed at people who like to quote the Greek a lot that don't speak it.
Yeah, the term used would be trogo instead of phago. So, in other words, more like a dog eating, or, so the point is...
it's interesting. I think this is where the Greek game really falls apart, because my Greek New Testament says phago.
Mm-hmm. Yours says phago. Okay.
Yeah.
And let's take a look. Hold on. Let me
John 6:53 says, except you eat the flesh. That word is phago, which means, okay.
Give me a second, because he goes from phago to trogo. I'm going to have to go to my interlinear.
Okay.
And we go to this handy interlinear Bible. Let me see how this works. So, get further down. Give me a second. And trust me, the Greek Orthodox Church does not see Greek as a game. They actually had riots in the streets when a modern version of the scriptures were released in the 1920s. Give me 1 second. See, now if you look, give them my flesh to eat, and then we go from 53, and it's phagete. Then you go to 54, and then it goes to trogon. So, in fact, he emphasizes it. If you use the interlinear from 653 to 654, he wants to make absolutely clear you understand you are physically eating him. And I realize that would mean that's a violation of Jewish law. That's the point. That law is done.
Well, it's not just the violation of Jewish law, though.
Mm-hmm.
It's a violation before the Jewish law in Genesis 9. And it's also a violation under New Testament Christian law
when they say you can't eat blood. Right, absolutely. Because you do not need any other blood except the blood of Christ. Because he's God.
Okay, but here's the problem. If drinking blood is forbidden,
it's not regular blood.
What's not regular blood?
We're talking about the blood of Christ, not the blood of Jim.
Okay.